So let me give people the latest news here because it was reported last week that this was not going to happen, but it just happened. The Chiefs have put the franchise tag on Trey Smith. He will get $24 million from the franchise tag. My question to you is that to keep him? He's really good. Or is that to trade him?
I think it's to keep him.
Yeah. He's really good.
Yeah. And you saw what the problems they had in the Super Bowl. So even though he was there, you got to keep him.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to keep him, David. You may be going to overpay for him a little bit, but look, that Kansas City probably has another run or two in them before they're going to change on the fly. Not necessarily dismantle the team because you keep them at home, keep certain players, but they'll look like a new team in 3 years.
Or less than that. I have a feeling this is going to be Kelsey and Reed's last year.
Could be.
Could be. And this is the kind of stuff that I want to reiterate to people about the cap not being real because he's getting $24 million guaranteed, and technically they don't have $24 million in cap space. So again, that it's never real. People, never real. So
it's never real, but you finagle it so it gets kicked down the can, so it does fit.
Correct.
Yes.
Eventually you get like the Saints and you have to pay for it. So Garrett Wilson is talking. His name has been out there in the news regarding possibly being traded. Well, he reportedly wants to stay with the Jets, but he wants to re-up on a long-term deal worth over $30 million per season. That would make him the top 5 paid wide receiver in the NFL. Fair?
Is he a top 5 receiver? Probably not, especially we don't know who the quarterback's going to be.
Let me stop you. Not even probably. He ain't a top 5 receiver.
But it is New York. The cap will go up. So whatever he wants, if he even becomes a top 5, in March, he won't be a top 5 by next March by any stretch of the imagination as far as salary goes.
And I guess he's doing this. You know what? It's almost the New York tax. I know this team is bad, so you're going to have to pay me to stick around because I'm going to probably go through about 4 more quarterbacks before you finally luck upon one. Maybe.
Well, some NFL rules might be changing, and that is the overtime rule. The NFL is considering changing that rule. Right now, the receiving team who has won the toss 56% of the time wins the game. That is overwhelmingly ridiculous. The rules are different in the playoffs. We know this, and both teams get a chance. So it could become that the rules from the playoffs become the rules in the regular season, and they could extend it to 15 minutes. I think the most important change could be the NFL measurement. They could be using the Hawkeye virtual measurement line.
Hold on. Before we get to the measurement, let's stick with this overtime thing for a minute. I think that they should just go ahead and do this. It's not like overtime is played all the time. And don't give me the whole player safety and the wear and tear in your body because you're the same league that keeps expanding and adding more and more games.
Exactly.
But now you draw the line at this. No, both teams should get a chance to get the ball. Absolutely. Yes. I'm not saying you got to go like the full college route.
No.
But you should. If you score a touchdown, like the Super Bowl, I should have a chance to score a touchdown and go for 2 and win the game.
But you clap, Stoney, so you love the idea of the Hawkeye measurement?
Yes. Even though I'm an old school type of soul, the chain gang, they don't seem to get it right. It's so antiquated. And, I mean, it's the cliche, but if we could put men on the moon, we can figure out a way to tell if something is a first down or not.
And they will still have the chains. They'll be used as backup.
Oh, okay.
Though, so you'll still see them on the sidelines. This one I want to go
because I'm with you because I think like in all sports, like I was okay with baseball doing this. The guys, after a while, everything evolves. We don't have rotary phones in our house anymore. Times change. We got the technology. Let's get it. So yes, absolutely, put a chip in the ball. So even if it's a pile, the chip will tell you exactly if the ball crossed the goal line or not.
Right.
It's just that easy.
So this next story, I want to go to the college ranks, and I want Kenny to comment on this. I'm just going to read the quote, and then I'll give you the coach. Quote, having a more balanced playing field helps our situation. It allows us to get where it was at one point just a few years back, where recruiting is real recruiting, not just someone who's going to put in the highest bid. That is a quote from Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer, who wants a balanced playing field.
Shut up.
He had one in Washington pretty much, and he probably liked it better. I don't know.
I don't want to hear from you at all about balanced playing field. You don't hear Kirby Smart saying something like this because that would also be ridiculous. Dumb dummy.
He's got to say something to keep the fan base around, to keep the haves half. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like rich people. No rich person wants to hear they got to pay more taxes, even though they can afford it. They don't want to. They want to keep their money in their pocket. They want Alabama to have all the riches and for everybody else to be the poors.
I knew Kenny would enjoy that one. We have a little.
Hold on, David. You know what? Real quick. Speaking of the whole college thing, I don't know if you saw this or not, but because now the lawsuit about letting JUCO players come in, there are coaches now who now say, "I'm not recruiting high school people anymore. I can just wait." And if you're a high school person, it may be more beneficial for you to take a year at JUCO,
right?
Because then you could become the hottest player in the league. But they have said, if this happens, why am I going to recruit some 10th grade person when I can just wait until later? And the JUCO person it's the cheat code for transfer because the years don't count.
Right.
I can still get 4 years out of you, even though you spent 2 years in JUCO. So
you'll see 28-year-old kids being recruited as freshmen.
And it won't just be BYU.
So it is combine week, and the defensive linemen and the linebackers are working out today. And we had a little bit of a scuffle. Media on media crime today.
Not players.
Not players.
Physical scuffle?
It was a verbal altercation per multiple
they're media
sources.
members, so we use our words.
Okay.
Jordan Schultz of Fox and Ian Rappaport of the NFL media. Apparently Schultz accosted Rappaport, yelling at him. I really don't understand why this needed to happen. He comes up to him saying, "We need to talk. Or if you need to talk, we could talk like men later." Why? Just why?
You know what?
They were arguing over
who got the scoop, probably. You stole my source.
Something like that.
I'm more important than you is basically what it boils down to. I'm more important than you, and let's have a measuring contest.
From afar, I'm going to side with Jordan Schultz on this one because Rappaport got into a urination contest with Schefter last year, too. So maybe it's Rappaport that's the
There
BB.
was an incident last year.
Yeah.
Yes, you're exactly right.
It just amazes me. These guys really think that they are part of the league, and and we really care. It's like, dude, you could die tomorrow, and somebody else will fill your shoes, and we would get the information from someone else.
Well, look,
like Woj retired.
I was going to say that exactly.
And
Thankfully, he didn't
what?
die, but he just went.
He left, and guess what? Life went on.
Yeah, we got shams.
Right, we still got news, but yeah, it amazes me. These guys, I talked to my sources, and my sources said,
Yeah, it's the agent who called you.
or you know what? Yeah, your source is the guy. He's on X right now. He's live streaming everything. There's your source. Yeah.
And then finally, the NFL came out with their numbers. They reviewed the numbers of fouls drawn by quarterbacks, basically seeing who gets preferential treatment or not. They're saying there is no pattern to that. The most favorable calls were to Tua. And in the top 5 of favorable calls, Cooper Rush. What?
Wow. Wait, so you're telling me the NFL said the NFL referees didn't favor anybody? That's wild.
And of the names, it wasn't the name that we all are waiting to hear.
Patrick Mahomes was not top 5. You have Tua, 1. You have Allen, 2. You have Bryce Young, 3. Cooper Rush, 4. Kyler Murray, 5. And Jared Goff, 6.
Well, it's weird. Kyler Murray and Bryce Young. So for the little people out there,
but not the
Patrick
guy
Mahomes
that we all know
So,
is protected. But
correct.
Kenny, you're right. Here's a shocker. The NFL says, "Oh no, there's nothing going on with the NFL."
Nothing to see here.
We are perfect. We are the National Football League, and that is Football Today on 97.1 The Ticket.